You're listening to Turi Ryder's She Said What podcast. I'm Turi, along with Marci Persky. In this installment, Marci recounts a scintillating conversation she had in a sizzling Arizona parking lot. Europe figures out how to make at least one kitchen junk drawer obsolete. And what do you do when you get halfway through watching a movie and realize this looks familiar?
It is so hot here. Oh my God, it is so hot. That's all I have to say.
That's it?
Yeah, done recording. No. So yesterday we launched another snip trip. That's when we take a big bunch of cats and kittens, load them into a van, drive them to Best Friends Animal Society in Utah, and have them spayed, neutered, vaccinated, bring them back, and then put them up for adoption.
But this never goes smoothly no matter what, right?
It never goes exactly how I planned. And I know that every single time. But it's the only thing that I'm organized about in my whole life are these trips. And I dream about them and I have nightmares about them. And yesterday was the best of all. I mean, everything was going great right down to the minute. And I go to the place where we rent our van from. I'm not going to give the name, but we use the van to haul kittens. And we sign the contract. The lady hands me the keys. And I walk over to, there's 5 vans, all bumper to bumper parked alongside of the building.
Mm-hmm.
She gave me the keys to the one in the middle. And bumper to bumper, there was no way to get it out. So I took the keys back. And there was only one person working there all by herself. So I felt bad for her. I took the key back and I said, "Can you pull this out for me?" Knowing very well that she couldn't. She comes out and looks and she said, "Oh, okay." And goes back in and comes out with a handful of keys and starts testing every single one of these vans. Well, the van in the front that you need to move to get out, the van in the middle, or any van for that matter, they didn't have the keys to it.
How did it get there?
I don't know. I allotted 15 minutes to go pick up the van, and I was there for an hour and 15 minutes with some drunk guy hitting on me nonstop. In the parking lot, it's 93 degrees. I have 25 cats and kittens waiting for me in another parking lot. And finally, I mean, I gave her a look. I didn't yell. I was really nice. I kept saying, "I understand," because I feel bad. You know, not really, but I did. So finally she comes out by herself and starts moving all this really heavy equipment that I could not move if I was in Amazon. I mean, it was really big, heavy metal things, and got the last van out from the last of the road.
What kind of big heavy metal things are lying around the rental car lot?
They're like implements of destruction. I don't know. It's
trailer
like
hitches or
huge, great big giant trailer things. And
okay.
It's a lot of stuff.
Okay. I don't suppose you took a picture of any of this, did you?
I took a picture of my van sitting in the middle because I was sending all the people waiting with their cats and kittens on a hot pavement parking lot. I'm sending them pictures saying, "Here's a picture of the guy who wants to know if he can use my phone, or if I have a cigarette, or if I have any money, or if I want to give him a ride somewhere." But my finally honed and planned trip was chaos from then on.
And the drunk guy, did you give him a lift to Kanab, the drunk guy?
I was not amused by him at all, as I was stressing about this whole van thing and how ridiculous it is at a business that its whole thing is renting out trucks and vans.
It is amazing sometimes that people make it very difficult to do the only job they have to do. It really is remarkable.
It was nuts. If they didn't have any vans, I would be equally as mad. But here they had 5 of them, and they only had the keys to the 2 in the middle.
Speaking of things that don't fit and have no logical sense, I finally heard a story that sounded so encouraging, and then I found out it was in Europe and not here.
Okay.
But I hope that maybe like stinky cheese, it'll make its way over to America.
What encouraged you?
In Europe now, they have a new rule that all of the devices have to fit all of the chargers.
Oh, I was reading about that.
I'm
Yes, there's
so it's such a tiny thing and yet so excited because I mean,
yes.
this drawer behind me that you can't see that I may take a picture of, it's got nothing but chargers that fit different things or don't fit anything at all. And
We have the exact same drawer.
and when you finally realize that of all the 95,627 chargers you've kept, you don't have the one that fits the old device that you need for when you travel, then you have to go on eBay and buy somebody else's thing out of their drawer. And the whole
I
thing,
just did.
did ya?
I just did had to do that.
So there it is. I mean, you can the same company. I won't name names, but
I know which
it
company.
has to do with the universe and the Milky Way, and that might help you think of the name of the product. I bought from one generation to another of their phones. The charger from the one before didn't fit the next one. And that was I was just outraged. I just thought it's not even about the money or the inconvenience. It's about the waste of it, just the waste of it.
Yeah.
So I'm
I,
thinking,
same problem from the company that comes off a tree
yeah,
that caused all that biblical trouble.
yes,
I had bought a new tablet, and my old tablet charger doesn't fit.
yes. The big cutie found that out.
Yeah.
And they just take it in stride, like, oh, we'll just throw them out.
And they're not cheap either.
No, and this must be a mark of adulthood when you start saving them because I don't remember if I saved them when I was a kid. I guess when you were a kid, like every plug fit imagine if every time you plugged something into the wall, you had to have a different kind of plug. Imagine if every time you rented a car, the gas pedal was in a different place. And the whole thing is just it and so I just figured this would be universally fantastic. And then I belong to some radio engineering Facebook group, and the engineers, about half of them are complaining about this on the grounds that, wait for it, it will stifle innovation. And I'm thinking, exactly what is innovative about screwing the people who bought the thing before? How is that? What kind of that's the most innovative thing you do is change the plug? If that's the most innovative thing you do, then you shouldn't be selling your product at all. Yeah, I mean, it's exactly the same as the one from 20 years ago, but the plug is different. I don't think so.
No.
So
No, and we have the same drawer. And it's like anytime I'm missing something, I go through the whole drawer.
Yep.
Test, plug it in.
Every
No,
one
it
of
doesn't
them.
fit,
Yep,
every
every one.
And instead of throwing them out, I go, well, I might find something that I need this
Back in the
for.
drawer it goes, yes.
Yeah, I have no idea. Some of them, I swear, they're probably 25 years old.
Well, I finally took a bunch of them out that were duplicates and got rid of them about a year ago, and I haven't missed them. But it kind of inspires like this anxiety thing when I get rid of even one of them. I think maybe that's the one that I'll need. So I have to make sure by plugging two of them into the same thing again and again and again, just to make absolutely sure that they're in fact duplicates, which if they're not, you've just effectively guaranteed that you will need it tomorrow and it has gone to the recycling center.
We found not too long ago an iPod Nano. And yeah, it's like this little hot pink thing. And I remember buying it in some Chicago suburb a long time ago. We wanted to know what was on it. And so I finally found the plug for it in a secondhand store.
So what's on it, Madonna?
Thinking that they were going to be great songs. It's going to be history. It's going to be awesome.
April Wine?
Oh, no.
Violin recital?
No. Even better.
School play.
Show tunes. It's just a bunch of random show tunes. And I'm sure that I had some really good punk rock on there at one time.
So, I would listen to the show tunes.
I know you would.
I would love it. I'm secretly Randy Rainbow. That's what I secretly am.
Some show tunes I like, and some of them I don't like a lot.
I never like the ones that everybody loves, the ones from Man of La Mancha or God forbid Annie or Cats. I never like tomorrow. I can't stand that crap.
And I got to tell you, Cats scared the crap out of me. I've managed to avoid it for many years until Molly did it with the Flagstaff Youth Theater,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to go.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, people dressed like cats with their face painted.
Shocking.
It's just like really, really scary and awful.
There are certain shows, books, movies, TV programs that it's kind of a badge of honor never to have seen or experienced. And
Agree.
for me, Cats is on that list.
If I didn't have a child in it who also did like set design and sound and the
Yeah, you
lights
had
and
to
all that
go.
kind
I'm
of
not
stuff,
arguing. You had to go.
yeah,
The last time I was in New York, I saw a Broadway show that was so dark that my girlfriend left at intermission and hung out outside and talked to the ushers.
that would be me. I would do that. I don't like anything dark, I don't think. I think I'm at the point now. I used to love everything dark. Now I'm just light.
Then there are shows you judge harshly because everybody likes them and you don't go and don't go. And then something happens and you realize that you were wrong and you have to go. And that applies to movies, TV shows, Broadway shows. There are some where you're
Yes, I
I'm
agree.
very judgmental about certain things. And then they worm their way into your heart and you think, wait a minute, where's that from? I guess I better see that. And then you
Yep.
do. Yeah.
We tend to do that too. We shy away from stuff that people tell us that they love because we usually like all this stuff that critics hate.
Yeah. I understand that. It's a point of honor to some, but I can't, I try very hard not to shame people for liking things like cats because it's unfair.
I shame my husband because he'll watch John Wick 1, 2, and 3 over and over. He'd watch them every weekend if he could.
I cannot watch a movie more than maybe twice in my life. I got no time. When I hear people say, yes, I'm rereading the complete works of fill in name of prolific author, I just think, but what about all the stuff you haven't read? What about that? Is that even fair to be reading it again and again and again? And
I'm one of those people. I will go back and reread
you
books,
do,
and
yeah.
and I have my favorite movies that I will put on whenever I'm in a bad mood. My movies we own and they're on the shelf, and I'll grab them and put them on
Like your
and watch
blankie.
them. Yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah. Like I know all the dialogue. I
you
can
like
sit
that
there and repeat
lulling
them.
thing, that thing where you just
Yep.
kind of, it's like falling asleep on the long car ride.
Yeah.
The most disturbing thing, if you are one of those people who likes to watch a movie one time only, is when you get halfway through and you realize you have in fact seen it before, but you'd forgotten until you were halfway through. And then you have to decide if you want to go forward or give it up.
Do you remember the end of it at that point or no?
Excuse me?
Do you remember it at that point in the middle, or do you not remember how it ends?
You've hit on something there because sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. Bad thing number one is when you realize halfway through that you have in fact seen it. And then worst thing is when you can't remember how it ends. So now you have to see it again because not only are you nuts for not having remembered that you'd seen it, now you're demented for not remembering how it ends.
You're gonna love this one, but if you press into my DVR,
Mm-hmm.
I have sitting on there the grand finales of every show that I've ever liked or that got canceled. And I go back and I'll watch this show that ended like 10 years ago and it's still on our TV. And I wonder, I don't remember how ER ended. I think I'll go watch it. And it takes up a lot of space. I tell you.
I don't think there's an analyst's couch big enough.
No, probably not.
Oh,
But I
boy.
do go back and watch them. And then there's like really obscure shows that nobody watched probably except us that got canceled after one season. And I still have their cliffhangers so that I can make up stories of my own.
Oh, you
of
mean
what
these
happened after.
season one ended and then never came back and it ended on a
Yeah.
cliffhanger because they thought they were coming back?
Yeah, like there was one called The Village, and Midnight Texas is another one. And Stumptown.
So do you ever feel like you should write to the director or showrunner and say, "I've been waiting for 27 years to find out what you plan to do in season 2. Would you mind just telling me?"
You know what? I still have that $5 that I owe the IRS because I don't want to go to the post office and buy a stamp.
You better be careful. It's going to be
So, no,
25 in a minute or two.
Probably. Yeah, I know. So no, I probably wouldn't write just because I'd have to go to the post office and buy a stamp.
Oh,
And to go to the post office here, it's a big deal.
I would do it. I would send a postcard. Dear famous director, I know it's been 27 years, but I always wondered, what was your thought about season 2? Could you just make something up so that I
What
can
happened?
sleep at night and get this damn thing out of my DVR? I bet you that she or he would do that. The ego of the Hollywood director could actually do you some good there. If you've made it this far, chances are you've been enjoying Turi Ryder's She Said What podcast. In which case, you might also like my book, She Said What, A Life on the Air. You can find that at your neighborhood independent bookstore or on Amazon. Marci and I really appreciate your good reviews wherever you care to leave them. Your kind words help the podcast grow. Thanks.